He's got the toys. He's got showmanship. And he's got sex appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great Southwest, here's the guru of gadgets, the dapper and dashing Don Baine, the Gadget Professor. Gadget Professor.
Well, hello everyone. It's Don Baine, the Gadget Professor, coming to you live from NAB 2015. We are here located in the North Hall, just behind where you register. And actually the crowd's not as big as I had anticipated it would be today. That could be because everybody was partying or eating or all other kinds of things last night. But in any event, we're streaming this show live internationally, so that if you're here, you won't be watching this show anyway, probably, although this is being performed in front of a live studio audience. We have a couple people sitting there. There we go. We have one guy that applauded. I'll pay you later. Thank you very much. Hey, there we go. You hear that? All together now. 1, 2, 3. Here you go. It just proves that some people do watch the Gadget Professor show. What can I tell you? All right. The next person we're going to interview, I've known for a few years, Aaron Sherman, and he's from a company called NEXTComputing. And NEXTComputing is a manufacturer. They will build pretty much whatever you need if there's a computer or CPU involved. They are extremely clever people, very efficient, very technical. And if you have a product and you need some help as to what the CPU should be, what the chipset should be, what it shouldn't be, it should be streaming, it should be processing, these guys are experts. And if you were to walk around NAB, if you look carefully, you would see that a lot of name brands are actually manufactured by these people who are located in New Hampshire. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Mr. Aaron Sherman from NEXTComputing. How are you, sir?
Good to see you again.
My pleasure. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
You're glad to get out of New Hampshire. I know you are.
Oh, my gosh.
You still have snow there?
There was a little when I left, yeah. There actually was. It snowed last week. It was horrible.
Oh, my God.
And just the warm, dry, Las Vegas air is just doing good things for me right now.
When did you get in?
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, okay.
Yeah, it's a nice switch.
All right. Now you have a booth here?
We don't.
You don't?
No, not
okay.
this year.
You certainly know a lot of people here.
Yeah, and that's been kind of we're always a little bit on the fence, We have a lot of customers here. We've been building systems for broadcasters themselves, for companies that build equipment, make their own solutions, put their name on it. At any given time, you can walk around the show and probably see a dozen different companies. You're not going to see our name necessarily.
We don't mention their names because literally people pay them money to build for them, and they put their own label on it, which is the way most things are done today, quite frankly. There's nothing to be, embarrassed about, but there are, legalities that we can't mention the names of the top companies in this business space or that Next would manufacture for. But the real thing is that you guys are designers, engineers, and craftsmen, if you will, putting together a platform on a box, so that you may not know what kind of box the form factor will be. You guys would know that.
Right.
You guys also, as I recall, actually have a spray paint facility where you can change the color of something and cut a piece of metal, and
we can do all that.
You go beyond the regular, like, hey, just build me a computer. So that's real important, understanding what's available on the market, the speed of the chipsets, and all the technology that goes into producing a system that's going to do what you want.
Right. Yeah, and so
how was that? Pretty good?
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's when you walk around and you see customers of ours here at the show. Really, if you were to walk up to them and say, what do you guys really do? At the core of what most of these businesses are is they're based around their software. They write really great software, whether it's video switching, graphics, encoding, editing, you name it. And often they're left with a choice. Do they pull together some in-house knowledge and build their own boxes, see how it goes, and then they're left to kind of handle all the support, all the manufacturing, the logistics, or do they go out there and look for a company like NEXTComputing?
Well, that's what I like about NEXTComputing, because literally there's so many levels that you don't even think about, when you're just starting off, or even if you're in the business. If you want someone who's reliable and also has that depth of experience in full production, not only the mechanical side, but as I said, the electronic side of it, and the integration of the box, the housing with the electronics. There's a lot to it. The cabling, the mounts for the cabling. There's a zillion details, and these guys, quite frankly, are experts in every one of those areas, which is comforting to me.
Yeah, I mean that's where we found our little sweet spot, because if you talk about, if you go to the CES market, for example, there's stuff that's built by the thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Sure.
These kind of low-cost gadgets and whatever, consumer electronics. That's really not our business. We look at where, okay, does the company's services and software, do they add a lot of higher value that somebody who's making a professional living in this business, in broadcast and streaming, they really need to rely on that software and that hardware to do business, to be reliable. There's no corner cutting in this business.
No, that will kill you.
It has to be live,
Yeah,
so
you can't cut
really
corners.
important.
You can't do that. Now,
so that comes down to like every level of our quality and our design mentality.
Did you have a stick or some media that you wanted to show?
I did, but I kind of already.
That's okay. You already spoke about
missed
it.
the boat, yeah.
Okay.
I actually thought it would be better just to kind of talk generically about it.
The other thing that I will mention from personal experience is these people are really a pleasure to work with. They know their trade. They're very polite about everything that they do, and they're just regular guys, and nothing stuffy about them. And they really want to end up with a product that they're happy with, or their name won't go on it, or your name won't go on it. And at the end of the day, you're going to end up with what you want, and they're going to end up being proud of what they have built for you. So if anybody is in the market or thinking of building some type of a system, I would definitely check in with the folks at NEXTComputing, because they know their stuff for sure.
Yeah, and
Aaron's a great guy.
Oh, thank you. I mean, that's something where we try to differentiate ourselves. I mean, there's a lot of companies that will build systems for you and do that, but we try to focus on what's special about this market. We don't try to just build computers for everybody.
Right.
We really, I don't want it to sound arrogant, but we pick and choose who we really would like to work with.
That's the beauty of being successful. You can do that.
Yeah.
And it works better for everybody that way.
And we also, so the other side of our business is, I'd say most of it is building for these types of customers that have systems and solutions around the show. We also do sell direct to customers. So if you're a streaming provider, independent freelancer, or you've got an AV services business and you want to get into streaming, in some cases there's really great software off the shelf. For example, Telestream Wirecast that'll do amazing things. You need really good hardware to run it. We're really good at figuring out what that needs to be, all the I/O, the processing.
So someone can call your company and say, I want to run this software. What do you recommend? And you'll build them a box?
We'll build them a box, yeah. We have guys doing...
And it could be a one-off or two-off or three or...
Yeah. Sometimes it just starts with one, and then they say, well, my business has grown, I need more.
Wow. I didn't even know that you did that.
Yep. Yeah, and it's interesting. It's kind of a growing offshoot of our business.
That's great. That's a great service.
Without us going actually out and advertising who our customers are, kind of people figure out, oh, NEXTComputing makes boxes for so and so.
That's an excellent option, because let's just take the live stream software for example. You can buy their software, which is a steal, believe me, with that functionality. So you decide that you don't want to buy their traditional box, like their 550 or whatever it is, the unit that you're looking at. You want to build your own. But if you build your own box, which is not that hard to do today, you have the wrong chipset, the wrong processor in there, you don't have the right cooling fan, the right air ducts. Yeah, you'll build the system, but you're going to have problems with it, more than likely. And when you have a problem, you have no one to turn to. So at the end of the day, if you have a company like NEXTComputing that's offering to understand what product it is that you're going to be dealing with, they will absolutely know what the hardware should be, and if they can build you a custom box, it may cost you a couple bucks more, but I can almost guarantee you that at the end of the day, you're going to be better off going that route than building it yourself. Myself included. I can do this. I can build this stuff. But I've learned over the years that, you know, as good as you think you are, there's always some little variable that you mixed. The machine's overheating because you didn't use the right chassis. You would never know that until you built it and it starts smoking. Or the chipset.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, or the chipset wasn't right. So,
right.
You know, it's worth it to either buy the box or really to give a call to NEXTComputing. You can ask for Aaron.
Call me up.
And he'll help you.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. It's
awesome.
a pleasure seeing you.
See you, Don.
I haven't seen you in a while, and maybe we'll catch up with you later on somewhere in the show.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on the show.
It's always a pleasure,
and
I do it because you guys deserve a spot here because you do such great work.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks a lot, Don.
Mr. Aaron Sherman from NEXTComputing. Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks.
The Gadget Professor is produced by Don Baine, Multimedia Communications, LLC. If you would like your product reviewed on The Gadget Professor or would like to appear on The Gadget Professor, contact us via email at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. The opinions expressed on the program by the host, guests, call-in listeners, or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. And thank you for watching The Gadget Professor.